watching us now in this part will explain the grammar rules which are related to Unit 4. Let's read the examples together. Number 1. She could have called and spoken to Mona. Number 2. He couldn't have been at work yesterday. I looked for him in all buildings. Number 3. He should have come early. Number 4. He shouldn't have gone there. In the first example we used could have called. In the second example we used couldn't have been. In the third example we used should have come. In the last one we used shouldn't have gone. So we will talk about could have plus PP, couldn't have plus PP, should have plus PP, shouldn't have plus PP. Number 1, we use could have plus PP to say, number 1, that something was possible in the past. For example, Ahmed could have passed the exam if he had studied a bit more. Ahmed could have passed the exam if he had studied a bit more. Number 2, to say that someone had the ability to do something that they didn't do. For example, she could have bought a new phone, but she didn't. She could have bought a new phone, but she didn't. Whereas we use couldn't have plus PP to say that something wasn't possible in the past. For example, you couldn't have seen Sarah today because she's in London at the moment. You couldn't have seen Sarah today because she's in London at the moment. Number 2, we use should have plus PP or ought to have plus PP to talk about regret in the past. For example, he should have studied hard to pass the exam. He should have studied hard to pass the exam. Whereas we use shouldn't have plus PP or oughtn't to have plus PP to say that something in the past wasn't a good idea. For example, I shouldn't have insulted him. He was angry and I'm sorry. I shouldn't have insulted him. He was angry and I'm sorry. Thus we have explained the grammar rules which are related to Unit 4. Now let's do some practice. Number 1. He space at work yesterday. I looked for him in all buildings. Shouldn't have been, could have been, couldn't have been, could be. The correct answer is couldn't have been. Number 2. He failed the exam, but he space it. It's all his own fault. Shouldn't have passed, passed, could have passed, passed. The correct answer is could have passed. I was sitting at the back of the theater and space very well. Shouldn't hear, shouldn't have heard, couldn't hear, can't hear. The correct answer is couldn't hear. They spaced to China last year because of the coronavirus disease. Couldn't have gone, should have gone, could go, should go. The correct answer is couldn't have gone. I space that hat. I'd look silly and people would laugh at me. Could have worn, couldn't have worn, should have worn, could wear. The correct answer is couldn't have worn. Ahmed was lucky he space hurt himself when he fell, but he's okay. Could, should have, couldn't have, could have. The correct answer is could have. You space his phone ringing. He hasn't got a phone. Should have heard, couldn't have heard, could have heard, shouldn't have heard. The correct answer is couldn't have heard. She spaced to the restaurant if she'd left work earlier. Couldn't have come, could come, should come, could have come. The correct answer is could have come. The exit doors were blocked so people spaced from the burning hole. Shouldn't have escaped, could have escaped, couldn't have escaped, could escape. The correct answer is couldn't have escaped. The trip was cancelled last week. Danny spaced anyway because he was ill. Shouldn't have gone, could have gone, could go, couldn't have gone. The correct answer is couldn't have gone. The report is late. It's space on his desk by 2 o'clock. Shouldn't have been, could have been, should have been, could be. The correct answer is should have been. I missed the meeting in Cairo. I space an earlier train. Should have caught, shouldn't have caught, could have caught, needn't have caught. The correct answer is should have caught. You space those books to the library 2 days ago. You will be fined. Shouldn't have taken, could take, should have taken, couldn't have taken. The correct answer is should have taken. Should have taken. Rana spaced the pencil case at her sister. She might harm it her. Should have thrown, shouldn't have thrown, should throw, couldn't have thrown. The correct answer is shouldn't have thrown. Shouldn't have thrown. Thomas has another accident. He spaced till the main road was clear. Could wait, should have waited, shouldn't have waited, should wait. The correct answer is should have waited. Should have waited. His health condition got worse and worse. He spaced a doctor earlier. Shouldn't have seen, could see, ought to have seen, shouldn't see. The correct answer is ought to have seen. Ought to have seen. Ayman should have spaced the problem with his staff to discuss, discussing, discussed, discuss. The correct answer is discussed. Discussed. He is already late. He should the apples with other farmers on the field now. Be picking, be picked, to picked, have picked. The correct answer is be picking. Be picking. They space go shopping yesterday because the shops were all closed. Shouldn't, couldn't, can't, mightn't. The correct answer is couldn't. Couldn't. Ahmad rode his bike in the middle of the road. He space that. Couldn't have done. Could have done. Should have done. Shouldn't have done. The correct answer is shouldn't have done. Shouldn't have done. Thanks for listening.